Hi, Warriors. I hope that your holiday, that Christmas or Hanukkah, yielded a lot of fun and great memories. How are you? Oh, thank you very much, Simon. Hugo, morning. How are you? Blake's here with me. I think it's just me and you today, huh, buddy?
I think
Um,
so.
Mike Weissman's here. Thank you, Mike. And let's, let's talk about yields.
Let's have a great show. Shoo.
Oh yeah, shoe, as Ed Sullivan would say. Let's take a look. These yields are absolutely relentless, and I don't know what's going to stop them. Check it out. Can you guys see it? That's a daily. I mean, Blake, when I look at this now, I say, why can't we have something like this from here? And I know we're getting overbought and everything, but that would take us to 5% if we had equality. So I don't know what's going to turn it. So we have what's going on, especially there's risk is coming off, and I'm pretty conflicted about whether this is a failing rally here. We're just going to blast through 6,100 and make new highs into next year. Um, but if the market keeps holding together, let alone blast one more time while yields are still going up, like it reminds me so much of what happened before the 87 crash. The only difference was instead of the dollar being too strong, the dollar was too weak. So uh, yields going up, you had the dollar going down, and you had the market going up, stretching into those highs. So it's called disintermediation, and it's like a rubber band.
Yeah.
You could just pull it, and eventually rates get to a level to where the market caves, and then you have a big break in risk, and you have a big rally in bonds. But I don't know, these bonds. This is, here we are, the long end looks pretty ugly to me. We're coming in lower again. It's diverging a little bit, but I don't know. I look at a weekly. What's going to turn the bond market besides people some fear, having fear about it? Doesn't that look ugly? Where you could almost call this like a head and shoulders top, net
Yeah, it does.
breakaway gap. That's like from par to call it 89, that's 11. That would take you to 78. And I threw this out a few weeks ago that this would be, kind of a debacle. But if we fulfill a three drive formation down here, I talked to Jim. He hasn't given up hope, but that takes you down into the low 70s if we fill out this angle of descent. Anyway, I think that's what's going on, and it's supporting the dollar.
But and here's the thing, Dale, is people say we can support, higher yields as long as the economic data remains
Growth.
strong. Yeah, I mean if
Yeah.
it's I mean, I think people forget how interest rates, generally speaking, are around average levels where they've been over time
Yeah,
because
I do.
yeah, economic growth is doing well. I mean, I think a lot of people don't believe that economic data should be as strong as it is, but it is. And the data continues to impress. And that's one of the things about this whole year is we've had data that just continues to, show strength. So,
Okay. All right. So, as far as the dollar is concerned, I still think we're going to trade down here at 102, but I think we could have a rally here. The dollar looks like maybe we get like A, B, C. Dollar not making a new high with new high in yields. Um, yen trying. And I remember last week I said, there's no way this is a top in the end because of Mo. So watch a momentum when we, looks like a layup, make new highs here. Um, Maybe we'll set up some kind of divergence. I don't think it'll be enough, but that's it. The standouts are metals today. They're holding up better than anything with a stable dollar, risk off, higher yields, even silver. So, I'm not bullish this stuff right now. Maybe silver gets back to 30, but until I think we have a dollar top, I can't get bullish in metals. So that's kind of where I stand, and I'm conflicted with the S&Ps. So where's your head at on risk right now, Blake?
Oh, well,
After this,
as well as far as risk goes, well, let's just talk. I guess we should probably just talk the next few days. Overall, I think that the stock market is going to feel disappointed, going into this next year. But it's like, what point will the
yeah,
market feel disappointed? And it has to be with economic data, and it has to be with maybe some things that the Trump administration is trying to do that they can't push over the finish line. But where does that land? Does that land in January, in the second week of January, or third week of January, when Trump is inaugurated, or is it going to be you know, um, a few months down the road? And that's hard to gauge. I personally, like, I look at the stock market going into the next couple of days, and it's like, what's going to stop it, and what's going to stop chasing the individuals chasing the market higher at this point. I
yeah.
don't know what it is. I'll take over the charts, and let's
Okay.
discuss, since it's just me and you, and obviously all of our wonderful viewers that are listening in. But I'd look at equities here. Let's just go run over to equities really quick, and I'm going to come back to the dollar. Um, you look at the stock market. Like I said, I mean, we're pulling back a little bit right now, but we're back above 6,000.
Yeah.
Um, what's going to stop us from trading to 6,100, 6,200 over the course of the next couple of days? And again, you have people that are just chasing the market at this stage. Very low liquidity environment. If the market, if investors are going to chase at the end of the year, and like I said, over the next couple of days, because we got today, we got tomorrow, then we have Monday and Tuesday. So we still have 4 days of trading. And if you need to show that you're in the
Show. Yeah.
markets, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why can't we go above 6,100 and trade towards 61, 65, which is the 127% extension, or maybe even 6,200 and change?
Well, I could finally make a case for the guys that were talking 6,400, which is your top trend line.
Oh yeah, that's the
Yeah.
that's the that's the top of the channel, right?
Yeah, and I can do it now by just arithmetically taking the high at 6,100, the recent break, call it 5,800. And if we break out over 61, you just tack on the 300 pips, and that gets you to 64,
And
which
there
is
you
where,
are.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, that's why. But part of me also, how sometimes you feel like, you know, maybe uh, something. And I could also see if we don't break out over 6,100 and start rolling over, it's not going to look so great either. So
Oh,
I'm
I'd agree
flat.
with that.
I'm flat. So I'm a nervous flat.
You're a nervous what? Well, how can you be a nervous flat? That's like walking
Because
around being a nervous Nelly.
because I have FOMO, I don't want to miss this correction. That's why.
Uh,
So you know what I mean.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
No,
I would
I'm
love
with
to
you.
see a blow off. I'd love to see us blow off into early next year. I know
Wouldn't
what
it
I'm
be?
going to do.
Wouldn't it be amazing to see that? I mean,
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, there's so many stocks. Let's talk individual stocks. We're going to come back to the dollar, since it's just you and I, and I'll just go over maybe some of the ones that are,
The
some of these big
MAGAs.
cap ones. Yeah, like we can talk about the Mag 7. I mean, you look at Nvidia. I mean, Nvidia, as you were
Yeah.
talking
See
about
that
over the
three
last.
drive I got out that day. not at the bottom, but it put in a 3 drive while the rest of the market was making new lows. So, my weekend wasn't ruined because I got out before the turn Thursday. But this is why I'm nervous. This could be a bounce to sell in NVIDIA, or NVIDIA could consolidate and blast to new highs. So, there are certain stock. This could be a failing rally in Tesla.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
if you see Tesla at a fresh high at the 127% extension, it's going to be divergent as all get out.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, pre-market, I mean, we're already up a little bit right now, but imagine us, trading up to 505 or so. Um, you look at Microsoft's, I mean, it's been
yeah.
stalling up here for a
It
bit.
hasn't made a new high, hasn't taken out the July high.
No,
That's
it has
so
not.
there are a few that are like that. Microsoft is one of them.
Yeah, I mean, look at Netflix is at all-time highs. I mean,
Look
why
at the
can't that hit?
divergence.
But why can't it hit the 161% extension at 1,000 first? I
Yeah,
mean,
they
that's
could.
a number, right? That is a number. One of the issues I have with Netflix, and I'm just talking. Okay, I'm talking. Let me just talk about this
As
really
a
quick.
consumer,
As a consumer, I was having we went to a Christmas thing with our very close friends that we vacation with and everything else, and they're extremely wealthy, generational wealth.
yeah,
They both have good jobs. They they have a lot of expendable money, and they're like they normally go to a movie on Christmas because their families aren't in town.
yeah.
And they were complaining to me this weekend or a couple of days ago about how first of all there's nothing showing in the movie theater, and then being they're like, why would we go to a movie anyway? It's cost us $150 for a family of four to go watch a movie, sit down, have drinks, and everything else. And it's like, why spend that kind of money when we could just, watch a movie at home? And it's interesting. And that's, I think Netflix is one of those stocks that actually will do better in a recession. So that's why I
Okay.
would be a little nervous about shorting it, but doesn't mean that it's not
Well,
overvalued by any.
I now know why your friend is rich because he may have a lot of extra money, but he sure isn't loose with it. If
Oh
he's
yeah.
taught,
Yeah. No, they're
like, I mean,
extremely
if
conservative.
you're you have 20 million in the bank and you still worry about $150 to take your family, you want to save that money. That tells me how he made his money
Yeah.
because
Well,
he didn't spend his
yeah.
money.
That's right. I mean, really, they're very conservative people. But I
Yeah,
mean, you look at stocks like this. This is one that I will have a hard time getting too aggressively short. But I'm looking at stocks that, look at this PLTR. I mean, this stock is one of
Palantir.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those that probably needs to be
Wow.
shorted at some point. And
That's AI, isn't it? AI.
yes, I think
Okay.
yes, and but the Metas, Googles of the world, the Mag Sevens, they're all gonna fall at some point, and it's gonna be epic. But when? And that's why the
You
beginning of
know what
next
looks
year.
the worst?
What's
Meta is looks more tasty to me than Nvidia now, because I look for tells, and on uh Thursday when the market was blasting and
hmm
Nas was up 300, Meta finished lower on the day by 3. So it's showing some internal weakness. Look at the glaring divergence there. For a
Oh man,
while,
it's
it's been
huge.
diverging.
Yeah.
So I think net is real vulnerable, at least down to your green line at 408. And that's a
Right.
pretty good trade from
And
here.
there's gonna be some epic opportunities out there. Amazon. Amazon's
Yeah,
probing the 161% extension. We're past the holidays now. There's a big push against, I don't know if you use TikTok or anything like that. It's one of the things that my wife and I were actually having this discussion over the weekend, or I say weekend, over the last couple of days, because we
yeah.
were out shopping, doing our last minute Christmas shopping, and we were talking about consumerism. And she's like, "There's just a huge pushback." huge on TikTok. Not huge, like she's not a TikTok
Yeah.
person. She just uses it. She's like, there's this big, pushback against consumerism, like with a lot of TikTokers, and they're making fun of like certain brands and all these like celebrity brands and companies like Amazon. And I've seen it just because my wife is in she does gifts that are locally
Mhm.
curated. So people that, are
Yeah.
local makers, like, um, uh, uh, somebody in town that makes items that are, from scratch. She sells them and resells them and sells them to corporations for like company gifts and whatnot and big event gifts. Anyway, she sees a big push away from Amazon, has for the last few years, but you can see how Amazon's just not as explosive as it's been, from a
Yeah.
a equity market standpoint, just from a stock market standpoint. And same with like, you look at Apple. Apple's Apple's at the
It's
top of its, big channel. So
it's a strength right now. It's in the mags. That's the leader.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I see some stocks like this that just look like they could be vulnerable.
Semis haven't made a new high for a year.
Yeah, look at that. And I still think head and shoulder pattern is quite possible. And
Yeah.
then what do you pick off there? The AMDs of the world, yeah, maybe Nvidia, maybe SMCI, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, Costco, one of the most epically run retail stores in the
Yeah.
world. When you walk through a Costco, and most of you have Costco's in your area, I would say a lot of you do. Um, what other retail store really gets you to walk through 75% of the aisles?
Yeah.
No, I
They're
mean, literally.
marketers. Yeah.
Not Target. You go into Target, you're like, I'm going in a Target or Walmart, and I'm just specifically going to grab certain crap. You go into
I hate
Costco and
shopping.
but me too. But in Costco, it's like a treasure hunt, and you're like constantly going through trying to find the best deals up and down the aisles,
Yeah.
and when a retailer can force you into doing that, not force you, but you know what I'm saying. It's a great opportunity. I mean, great
Well, yeah,
company,
while you're walking down the aisles, you're getting hit with subliminal messages
of course.
in the music. So buy more,
Uh,
buy more. You're gonna run out. You're gonna run
Costco does
out.
not have music, but
All
but
right.
let's go back and talk about some other things too. Let's talk about the dollar because this is a wave count. Since you were talking about Jim earlier, he thought that this recent wave higher was a wave five, and he's like, we
Yeah.
might hit a new high from here.
Yeah. I think so.
It's possible, or this fresh high was wave five.
It. Yeah.
It might have been it, but because you have this divergent relative strength. So what
Yeah.
I would be thinking at this point, well, this is what I am thinking. You have to look at the dollar back below 107.50 or 107.30. That's this previous spike high up here, right?
Yeah.
That has to be taken out, or the channel support has to be taken out. And then we have the wave five. That means that was wave five. Now,
Right.
until that happens, we could, see another surge to new highs. And you know what could do it, Dale?
Yields.
Or a tweet.
Yeah.
Or a
Oh,
tweet.
yeah. There'll be all that kind of stuff
If
happening
if
now.
I was President Trump right now, and I'm sitting here with his team going, okay, let's hit the ground running. What do we need to happen before we get into office? Well, before we get into office, we need the dollar to weaken substantially now. Because if we weaken it now, by the time we come into office, it's going to be a tailwind for us
Yeah.
as we go into and we kick off our administration. Dollar weakens, everybody wins. We can talk about, the weak dollar is good for manufacturing, US manufacturing, blah blah blah, and all this other stuff. They could really play that up. All we need is a tweet. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to get it. I'm just saying, if you want to know something that could really fortify a top in the dollar, it could be,
Yeah, he could just say the dollar's too strong.
Yeah, dollar's too strong. Dollar's too strong. And then next thing you know, the dollar, everybody will take a cue off of that and say, oh, you know what I mean? I guess the dollar is too strong. We need to be selling dollars up here. And that will help American manufacturing in the future. And
You know,
so anyway,
yeah, anyway, you and I have batted this around a few times over the last year, and really, when you think about it, the dollar wrecking ball has not wrecked the market except for that bear raid. Okay, we had that bear raid. Whether that's the start of something, metals got hit. Bonds are heading lower. Most commodities are, you know, still heading lower. Copper. So, you know, it's hard to, think about what the markets could do if things reversed
yeah,
here.
right. No, I mean it is one of those things, Dale, that I think is going to be really interesting. The dollar is going to be a big play into next year. As just so you guys know, if you go over to forexanalytix.com, just go to the blog. We have our 2025 outlook right here. There's a lot of us that posted about this. I'm going to put it in the chat
So,
box.
so you think we could have a correction or even a bear market in equities with a bear market in the dollar? I'm so,
I think so. Why not? I mean, look, the dollar's been rallying, this
yeah,
year with stock. So
that's what I mean.
yeah,
People will be off-footed about that because they'll read it as risk on and they'll buy every dip because the dollar's weak.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. It's been for the last. I mean, how many years do you remember, Dale, that the markets, the dollar is used as more of a risk off tool, but I think it's under extremes. I like to say that the dollar is comes into demand when there's risk off, but it has to be a big
It's
extreme.
yeah.
Yeah, like people have to be in panic mode. Like if you're down 10%, people look at the dollar and say, but if we're down 20% and it happens rather quickly, that's when people start dropping everything and saying, just give me dollars at this
But
point. So
remember when we were crashing that day in August? I looked at what's up and gold was up, bonds were up, and surprisingly, euro was up that day. And, I still can't forget how, maybe that's a tell. Um, I think I saw something about Europe considering whether or not to stay, you know, with NATO or begin to, this may have been Germany, or gravitate towards Russia and China. So, if something like that happens, the euro could be real competition for the dollar if China's behind if those ties become closer as our ties with NATO and Europe become strained. That's a possible thing to look for in the next few years.
yeah, and look, I mean, I know we have a new incoming president, and whether you like it or not, and if you live in the United States, whether you're a fan or you are not, he's very divisive, and he could very easily turn everybody against America. He could be America first and making America great again, but he could really, really
Yeah.
turn a lot of
Not like
people.
we have a lot of friends anyway.
No, we don't. What do you mean? This is true statement. True statement. We might end up
Yeah,
being on an island by ourselves here,
yeah,
in North America, and
yeah.
so anyway, that's a great point, Dale. I mean, that's something you can't you know um,
Yeah, I mean
dismiss.
it's a bipolar world now, so the superpowers are going to be struggling to hold on to influence and gain influence around the world.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's interesting. We have at this stage in the game, we are at very, very high levels in the market. I'd like to say we're at high levels in the dollar, but we're not. I mean, if you look at the like,
Yeah,
let's go over to the dollar and just go look longer term. Um, the dollar is very much in a range here. Let me get rid of this, what I had separately here. Just delete that. Okay. You look at the dollar like longer term, and here's a monthly chart of the dollar index. I mean, we're very much in a range. If you think the
yeah,
dollar's been going a lot of different places, it hasn't. But I think that this is an era where we could see the euro back at 110, 115, 120.
yeah, yeah. I
That
do
would be the
too.
dollar index back in the 90s.
Yeah,
I think it's entirely possible, especially with this administration who
I'm with you.
yeah, they've said that that's what they want. Now, what's going to turn it and what's going to, you know,
Are you hearing
actually,
much parity talk in euro yet?
oh God, yeah, of course.
Okay. Sub
Every
parity?
bank is targeting parity. Yeah, I was just reading a JP Morgan piece, which is basically, suggesting that too. I mean, every bank is looking for parity first. So,
Yes. Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
everybody's very bearish the euro for the right reasons. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you can look at the euro and go, wow, I think the euro is going to 150 right now. It's
Yeah.
hard to say that. And you look at the dollar CAD and you're like, how's the dollar CAD going to go lower? I think it could go lower with a new incoming new president if Trudeau's gone. But
Yeah.
you look at currencies like, yeah, you look at the dollar CAD, it's exploding higher,
It
right?
still doesn't look like it topped.
No, it doesn't. I mean, looks like a
It
wedge.
wants
It's going to
those
break to the upside.
those double tops that you were showing to the left from years
Or
ago.
and how about if that even breaks? I mean,
Yeah.
then you're
That
talking,
would measure. Wow.
yeah,
That
I
that
mean,
that looks like a cup and handle. A
yeah,
little bit,
well,
huh? That
yeah,
a big handle, too
big
big?
ass handle, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I need it because my hands shake. So anyway, that would measure huge, Blake.
Yeah, oh yeah, if we get above these levels, and I don't think Trudeau's going to be out of office until
February.
mid-January.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we have plenty of time to do some damage up here,
Yeah. Yeah.
why not? Um, but yeah, you look at the euro and the euro doesn't look bullish by any stretch of the means, not at this point in time, but it has held up well, and
Yeah.
I have
I
to
think
imagine
so.
if you're short euros and you're thinking parity, you're probably thinking about like, what, there's no reason to be buying the euro, but then again, I don't have the best risk reward being on the short side of the euro at this stage either. So,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
look at these other commodities, commodity currencies. Look
Yeah.
at
They're
the
weaker. Yeah.
Aussie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're near some,
60.
yeah,
Well,
really,
where's
really.
that generational low again?
This one's way over here in the 50s at 55.
Okay.
This is post COVID, right? When we went to lockdown. I still don't believe we're going to go down there.
You have something at 60.87. I'm going to watch it
Uh,
there.
that is 127% extension of the last like big big move from this low
Okay.
right here to that high. That's that.
Okay. All right. Take out that low by a little bit. We'll see. We'll
Yeah,
know. We'll know by the formations we get. We
exactly. And it's possible.
sometimes I ask myself, like, why am I trying to get ahead of in my narrative instead of just waiting for the market to continue to develop and make it obvious?
Yeah, that's the thing, and it was something I was my son it really wants to trade like for a living. He wants to do it at a bank. Like we were going through this weekend through all of his scholarships and his SATs, and he could literally have he's such a smart kid, and he can have like he got
Goldman
accepted to
Sachs.
no he got accepted into Ole Miss, which is a
Yeah.
really
Oh, wow.
good school,
He's a
and his
rebel.
S yeah exactly, and his grades can basically have him his whole college paid
Yeah.
for there. Anyway, we were talking about like what he wants to do in the future because he's actually trades a lot of like equities, and he trades a lot of options, and he's done quite well as a 17-year-old kid. Anyway,
It's in the genes.
we were talking about it. I was talking about like the book and education of a speculator, and we were just having this conversation about writing out trends as long as you can, and as long as they
Wow.
continue to show, strength and before, getting run over and trying to anticipate a reversal, which a lot of us do, and it's a big
Yeah.
amateur error that a lot of people do, and even I do at this stage in the game. And sometimes I have to remind myself to try to write out, certain trends. So yeah, when you look at
Boy,
the Aussie, you're like, okay, I'm bearish until the market will show us when it turns
right,
bullish.
right.
Whether it's in
That's
a
what I was
it's in a
saying. I'm
yes,
looking for a
exactly.
bot, we'll know when we have a bottom. We'll get a signal.
Well, yeah, whether it's a key reversal off of a level after
Yeah.
like a massive sell-off, or you break this downtrend and that fortifies a big reversal. And I've been looking for it for the last several weeks. We're not there. It's just not there.
Let me
So
tell you something. How fortunate is it Roman or Christian that wants
it's
to trade?
Roman. It's Roman.
That
Yeah.
Roman doesn't have to scour the internet and get lucky to land in Forex Analytics, to have his father, who's a pro, be there to have mentored him and bat the ball around in the markets. I'm telling you, that's, I wish I had that education.
Well, we talk quite a bit, and actually, his girlfriend's
No,
dad was one of the head traders at Morgan Stanley.
okay, so
Yeah, so that helps
he's
too.
surrounded by it,
Yeah,
but
he's a New Yorker that has defected to Scottsdale, Arizona. So, yeah, so
mm.
he's got a couple influences, but
Anyway, he's fortunate because most of us, including you, had to be kind of self-taught and find your way around to
yeah.
go through the process. This definitely is, he has an edge,
Yeah, I
don't you
think he
think?
does have a little bit of an edge. Yeah, I do
Yeah,
believe that.
over.
Hey guys, before we go, and Dale, it's been fun, and I think tomorrow we might actually have K-Man with us, probably talking a little bit of end of month flows or end of year
Okay.
flows. So make sure you guys are around tomorrow. I'll be here with Dale. But I do want to say this really quick. 2025 is going to be huge for Forex Analytics. There's a lot happening, that's going to be a dramatic change that will allow every every person that's listening in right now to be more of a part of Forex Analytics, and to be able to, be involved in our community. What we're adding and what's happening next year is really big, and we're talking about like maybe the first quarter of this next year. So a lot of big things are happening this year that's coming up, and I'm so excited for all of you to be part of it. It's really exciting stuff. We're going to be adding new team members, but how our platform is and what it looks like, and the way it's going to change, and how you guys can literally for free take advantage of a lot of the tools that we have. You're going to be able to do it as well. So, just make sure you guys are all sticking around this next year. It's going to be a great year for all of you, and it's going to be great for trading, Dale.
Yeah, it will.
2025 is going to be epic for trading. I've already like refunded some of my accounts, you know, getting away from pure currencies, which I've been into also different markets too, because I want to take advantage of like opportunities in different markets as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of, look at dollar yen, it's about ready to bust out to new highs. Just FYI.
Oh, one thing,
Yeah.
show people, I wanted to show people the Bitcoin chart so
Mm,
that they're
yeah.
not long if we take out 92. It's the bottom
Yes.
of a descending triangle. So snug your, if you're long, could take some off the table here. Because if we get through 92, what's that measure? About 80, 76.
Yeah, I think maybe the breakout point.
And that's
You know.
another reason why I'm a nervous flat in the market is because of this formation in Bitcoin. It doesn't bode well for the market.
Yeah, it's I mean, risk is going
Look
to
at
come
this.
out. I
Yeah,
mean, Ethereum looks like shite. I mean,
yeah,
it does. I
yeah,
mean, look at Ethereum. Some of these other, I mean, XRPs might start to give up the ghost here a little bit. Yeah. So
Who liked the dynamic duo today? Just Blake and I playing catch today. It was, sometimes we have to hurry to rush to get everyone in there so they could say things. We had time to relax and get macro, and I think that this today you guys could play this again. There's some great longer term ideas that came out of this one, and watch them play out this year. And I think someone made a comment that with all the AI, he doesn't think there'll be a future in trading in 10 years. Well, okay, because I plan on having a good decade in 2025. So you just motivated me. I'm gonna get that 10 years out of the way and have a great decade next year.
Yeah, and I beg to differ. I don't think I mean
Yeah,
what do you where do you think the markets are going to go? I mean, there's always going to be trading in the markets. You're always going
yeah.
to take advantage of extremes.
It sure
Uh,
has lasted a long time. So
and one of the
those,
things that we are doing, just I'm going to give you guys a little heads up. We are incorporating AI into what we do
yeah.
here at Forex Analytics, just so you guys know. It's going to be some pretty cool stuff. We've already been putting together a database of information. So it's going to be great how it incorporates into what we do every day here. So.
I know that I could use a little artificial intelligence to bolster my natural intelligence. That's peaked out years ago. Anyway,
Uh, Dale,
have
it's
a
been
great,
great, man.
yeah, man. All right, so we're going to be back. We'll be back here tomorrow, everyone. TGIF, see what happens, and remember, start visualizing what's going to happen for you in 2025, and see yourself in the community with us. And we'll see everyone tomorrow. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Take it easy the next week or so in these thin market conditions, and start setting yourself up for a January mentality of what you're looking to do next year. That's what I'm doing. All right, guys. See you, Blake.
See you, coach, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here, and
All right.
hope everybody had a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you all celebrated. Hope it was a great time with your family and friends.
Festivus,
Festivus.
like George Costanza with the pole, and then you have to wrestle your dad. A lot of cool rituals in that. All right, man.
All
You've
right,
seen
buddy.
that. You've seen that
Oh,
episode,
yes, I
right?
have.
All
Of
right.
course. Who hasn't seen Seinfeld?
Happy Festivus, everybody. I'll see you, buddy. All
See
right.
you, bud.